On to Nigeria now, where police have issued an arrest warrant for a British man for allegedly plotting to undermine the government. Authorities say Andrew Wynne, along with a co-accused, helped to build up a network of sleeper cells to destabilise the country. Mr. Wynne, who says he ran a bookshop in the capital, Abuja, is also accused of funding terrorism and inciting people to mutiny. However, the British national denies these accusations. Now, this comes after 10 people who took part in last month's cost of living protests were charged with treason and conspiring to incite the military to mutiny. All the accused pleaded not guilty to the charges, which can carry the death penalty. Well, rights group Amnesty International took to X saying, and I quote, "The charges of treason was beyond absurd and baseless." Now, the group also said that 13 people were killed during the protests, an accusation that the government has denied. Well, these demonstrations, dubbed 10 Days of Rage, were called in response to the tough economic times that many are experiencing, with inflation at over 30%. Earlier, I spoke to our reporter in Lagos, Yusuf Akinpelu, who's been following this story closely. I began by asking him for the latest updates on this British national.
Not so much has been said about him, other than what the governments have put out about the British national. His name, they say, is Andrew Martin Wynne, and a couple of other aliases he uses. They also say he is 69 years, and the government has also put a bounty of 10 million naira on him. That's about $6,000. The government have said they're on the lookout for him, but he's been said to have left the country, and they say their search will continue, and they've accused him of a lot of things, including treason and abetting to topple the Nigerian government.
Well, this isn't the first time Nigerian police have linked foreigners to alleged plots to overthrow the government. What makes this case different from what's been said previously?
The British national, alongside a Nigerian, that Obiyan, was also accused of working together to destabilize the country and to also topple the government. This particular one is not any different from some of these other accusations, but because of the level at which the government is willing to take this, is why everyone is wondering, where is this headed?
I mean, let's now also talk about the 10 people that were, arraigned in court and charged with treason. The penalty for treason is the death penalty. Talk to us about how the death penalty is viewed in Nigeria, and is there a possibility that that could actually happen if they are found guilty?
I mean, it will be a long legal battle between the government's accusation and also the counsels for the accused persons. Treason, of course, it's one of the grievous punishments within the Nigerian law, and it is punishable by death. Although death penalty, while it has been handed down a couple of times, many times in Nigeria, hardly is it ever been carried out. And often because of cultural, religious, and sometimes political reasons, we do not get to see them carry these things out.
What's been the public reaction to this charge of treason? I mean, people who went out on the streets protesting against bad governance, how that ended up as treason, I'm sure is a big as potentially treasonous rather, is a big talking point in Nigeria.
Yes, it's one of the major talking points across Nigeria, on the street, even on social media. People are wondering, these people, what exactly did they do? Is it a case of the government trying to create some atmosphere of fear in people who want to protest? And there are also people who think it is also legitimate for the government to also put a foot down, because Nigeria is surrounded by coup-hit countries. It's happening in Niger, it's happening in Burkina Faso and a couple other West African countries within the Sahel. And of course, during the protests, there were a couple of insinuations on social media where people are saying they want the military. They're saying they wouldn't mind if a coup happens, even during the election. So those are talking points that have also been ongoing.
Has there been further clarity on why some protesters were seen flying foreign flags? And has that in any way been cited in what the state is accusing some of these protesters of? Some
of those people who were arrested, the reason for which they were arrested for waving the flag isn't still clear. There are talks that the government is saying that those who are waving it are taking inspiration from people outside of the country, like in neighboring Niger, which also severed ties with many of its Western allies, and then it's now cutting Russia. And it could just be maybe like the buzzword we see around these days on social media whenever there is any sort of destabilization or anything, any discomfort happening in the country, we see people tending to wave Russian flag, just trying to say, oh, we think Russia too can do something to help our situation. But then the Russian embassy in Nigeria has denied any link to this.